Reports of domestic servitude in London have risen since the start of the pandemic. The majority of workers are women, mostly from Southeast Asia, and some face serious abuse. Some viewers may find Leana Hosea's report disturbing.
In some of London's wealthiest neighbourhoods, foreign domestic workers are being exploited and enslaved behind closed doors. Sarah, not her real name, started work in the Gulf before being brought to London.
My employer called me to massage his legs. He insisted I do it. He pulled my hand and put it on his penis. And then he grabbed my head towards the same place. Every time I saw him, I was scared. After a week, we traveled to the UK. He took my passport after immigration and the driver took us to the apartment.
Sarah's employer returned to the Gulf just before lockdown, and fearing more sexual abuse, Sarah accepted his wife's offer to stay and work for her in London.
I expected it to be safer, but it was worse because the wife abused me so much. When I stole an egg, she started hitting my head on the fridge. I only eat whatever is left from my employer's meals.
More than 1 million Filipinos leave their country every year to work abroad and send money home, leaving a generation of children without both parents. Luckily for Sarah, a fellow Filipino lady was working as a nanny in the building opposite. Having been abused herself by a previous employer, the nanny Rowena became worried about Sarah.
I'm looking at her, wondering why this lady is quite sad. She's quite thin. I asked her by action if she can give me some information.
I wrote on a piece of paper that I wanted to get out of this place now, and I held it up to the window. The girl made a sign to tell me to meet her outside at 7 after work that day.
It's not known if the abusers are still living in the flat, but Sarah didn't get paid for 6 months while working in London. Since the start of the pandemic, reports of domestic servitude in London have risen by 80%, according to Unseen UK.
We believe there are tens of thousands of potential victims right here in the UK. We see so many police officers and those on the front line who maybe have a very limited understanding or might not quite recognise those signs when they come across them. So again, training is absolutely key.
Through Rowena, Sarah got help from the Kalungan Filipino Consortium, who say the exploitation is getting worse. They want migrants to have the same rights as any other British worker and not to be treated like slaves. Leana, Hosea, BBC London.